Lux your way with the Lux Cravings boxes from Taco Bell. There's the classic $5 box, the indulgent $7 box, and a whole new obsession in the $9 box, the flaming hot grilled cheese burrito. Try the Lux Cravings boxes at Taco Bell today.
Hey Bronco Nation, this is Boise State football wide receiver Ben Ford. I've had to face some setbacks on the field this past season, but toughness isn't about staying down. It's about getting back up. I am proud to represent Lithia Ford of Boise, where you can find the largest selection of Ford trucks that are built tough and, like me, handle the hits and keep pushing forward. Come check out the incredible inventory and competitive pricing at Lithia Ford of Boise. And when you buy here, you're not just getting a truck, you're supporting Boise State athletics and Lithia Ford NIL partnerships. Come see us at Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Find your sun with Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Made with real iced tea and real vodka. Cold, refreshing, and made for moments like these all year long. Let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser.
As sports fans, we may cheer for different teams, but there's one thing that we can all agree on. We want the game to be big. And with 3 levels, 30 cabanas, a 143-foot screen, 6 clean pools, and endless cold drinks, it doesn't get any bigger or any better than Stadium Swim in Las Vegas. All sports, all seasons. It's more than a pool deck. Stadium Swim. It's the only thing like it in the world.
The final buzzer is sounded on another night of Mountain West basketball, and it's time to break down the action with Tom Moser on another night in the Mountain West, presented by Circus Sports. Headed to Las Vegas for the Mountain West tournament in March? Make sure to stay at Circa Las Vegas and watch all the action at Stadium Swim, where the sports are on 365 days a year. Another night in the Mountain West has interviews, analysis, opinions after the final Mountain West basketball game of the day wraps up. All BNN broadcasts come from the Sun Cruiser Studios. Sunny days call for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea, made with real iced tea and real vodka. It's refreshingly smooth and easy to drink. Crack open a Sun Cruiser and let the good times cruise. The title sponsor of Bronco Nation News is Lithia Ford of Boise. Check out our full inventory of vehicles online at lithiafordboise.com. Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho. Did your team just get a big win? Suffer a bad loss? Come discuss it with us. Send us a comment or question in the ICCU YouTube chat, or leave us a voicemail at speakpipe.com/BNN. Now let's go to the Sun Cruiser Studios and join Tom Moser for another night in the Mountain West on Bronco Nation News.
Can you hear me now? No sound. Something happened earlier. Can you hear me now? It works now? Okay, so I changed my microphone. Okay. BJ said he had some problems earlier. All right, I apologize for that. I don't know. We'll have to. Okay, so I'll quickly go through what the heck happened? Let me go through what you guys missed in that minute where I was talking. Thankfully, I looked at my phone. BJ said I'm muted. I wasn't muted. There must be something going on here. BJ said he had a problem at the end of his show up in Boise, and I have the settings on, so I just changed my microphone, and that kind of will get the sound coming out there. So I'm not sure what happened. But anyway, I'll do it again. Well, thanks, Sun Cruiser, for being here. I'm back at home base after being away last weekend. That show seemed to go pretty well, went off without a hitch, and you guys seemed to not really mind the on-location shoot, if you will. And now as far as tonight goes, lot to discuss. I said that the BJ had a clip. He talked with Coach Rice and Coach Dutcher with the assembled press after the game up there in Boise. Said, do you want to play those? I thought about it. I mean, and I kind of maybe we'll incorporate them tomorrow, only one game. And there's so much to get to tonight with in just the 5 games and really just the 3 games of substance, because the other 2 games, right, there's not a whole lot to talk about. And on both fronts of those 3 games, because this was one of the more wild nights that I can remember in conference play here. I remember last year it was that in the non-con in December, there was a absolutely disastrous day when we lost, like almost all of our good teams lost, and it was poor, really, really bad. We've had some days where Team A hasn't really shown up well and played hard or competitively or whatever it might be. But to have 3 of your top 5 teams, and one of them didn't even play, so 3 of your top 5 teams, although let me say this, I don't even know who the hell our top teams are right now, because some of the teams that are not in that top 5, as it's kind of been all along, are playing very good basketball, and some of the teams in that top 5 are not. But by the standings, 3 of those top 5 laid absolute eggs. Like, they laid a full dozen tonight. Just 3 teams laid a carton of eggs tonight, okay? Meanwhile, the 3 teams that they played looked good. And so, both things can be accurate. In some instances it's not. And for example, I don't really think that, despite what the announcers were saying, I don't think that UNLV played great in the first half, right? The guys going nuts and blah, blah, blah. Utah State was awful in the first half. So I don't think UNLV looked really good, even though the guy was making it seem like they were the running Rebels from 1990, right? Now, in the second half, they looked fantastic. They scored 60 points, I think, in the second half. They looked really, really good. Okay, and Utah State continued to embarrass themselves like I haven't seen in years from that program, right? But UNLV wasn't great in the first half. Just because they were winning and upsetting Utah State doesn't mean they played good, okay? Like Utah State was 3 for 20 from the field at one point, right? Now, Wyoming, they looked good largely most of the game. And Boise did too. I don't think their first half was outstanding. It was good. It wasn't great. Their second half was really good, even though like San Diego State kind of crept back into it. That was just, you play 40 minutes, like things happen like that most of the time, right? So I'll go in reverse order like I always do, and we'll talk about the one that just finished in the Thomas and Mack. So UNLV completes a season sweep of Utah State. Now, 92 to 65. 92 to 65. And yes, a 60-point second half for the Runnin' Rebels. And, UNLV, they swept San Diego State last year. I don't know if it was 2 or 3 years ago. One of those years, maybe a Lobo fan in here can help me out. They swept the Lobos. And now different regimes, right? It was Kruger before, now it's Pastner. And I said on the last show that credit Pastner for figuring out the rotation that he wanted, that was most effective, and that was playing the way he wanted them to. Now, why it took so long, I can't answer that question, okay? But obviously, and I'll put this on the screen, and there's so many things on here to look at, but I want to look at the minutes, because I had not before. So Gibbs, Lawhorn, Hamilton, Fleming, Benarby, Brown, Jones, Williamson as the seventh man got a lot of minutes. He got a lot of minutes because he made all his threes in the first half, right? He was 4 for 4 at one point. He's not a good shooter, but when you make your first couple threes, you're going to get extended runs. So again, Al Green and Stephen, two guys who were, and Nas Cunningham, DNP, complete DNP, but Al Green and Stephen, two guys who were starters and or in the rotation, major rotation minutes for much of December and January, are like non-factors anymore. They get garbage time 1 minute, right? And so Pastner's playing the guys that are playing D and that are doing things that he wants them to do. And that's guys like Walter Brown and Benarby, and he goes to battle with those guys. And so credit Pastner for making that switch with the lineup. Now, again, why it took so long to happen, I really don't know. I don't know. And it's a shame because they look good tonight. And I'm just going to – I saw this comment right at the top, right? I saw this comment right at the top. You want to – well, I don't know about this, Vinny. UNLV is the best team in the conference when we play our full potential. Well, you look like the best team in the conference tonight. The problem is, like, you have to do that more than, like, twice a month in order for that to happen, okay? But, yeah, there's not a team next week that will want any piece of UNLV. I still maintain that, like, they won't be able to do that for 4 straight games, right? Steve, this is the comment I wanted to show. They started playing as a team. So here's what I'll point out. This is the stuff that I like to see, right? Gibbs Lawhorn, we all know, has been on an absolute heater for the last almost month and a half. 30 points a game over 9 games. Like, that's a pretty large sample size. And against good teams, too. Good defenses, good coaches, game plans designed to stop him because he's option A and B and C oftentimes. And and so when teams pay that much attention to you, it works in your favor because other guys get looks then, right? And that happened to be tonight. Other guys got looks. But massive credit. And he did get the point total up there to 10 only in the last couple minutes with a couple free throws, and he made a 3 late, right, in garbage time. I don't think he was really playing for the double figures. Maybe he was. I don't think so, but like he only took 8 shots, and he had only taken 5 shots with like 3 or 4 minutes left in the game. So, like, massive credit to him. Now, his minutes were cut a little short because he was in foul trouble in the first half. So he only played 9 minutes in the first half. So he ends with 28 minutes. So he played 19 out of the 20 minutes in the second half, came out with a minute to go. So I'm assuming that's the only break he took. But my point being, he didn't force stuff, right? Like, this is a team where in the past, even under Pastner this year, certainly under Kruger, like, I don't think their shot selection has been very good. I don't think there's a very good team identity and togetherness and connectivity, stuff that you need to, like, be good. Even if you have talent, you still need that, right? We saw that with San Diego State tonight. We've seen that with other teams, not just in the Mountain West, but it happens all across the country. There are teams that have talent and they don't win or win up to their ability because they're not connected. And that's been an issue for UNLV for a long time through many coaches, right? But they look like they're kind of connected right now, okay? And so that does make them dangerous. And if you're going to beat the top team in the conference by 30 and your horse only scores 10 points, and really it was like 5, okay? Like, okay, well, that's going to open some eyebrows, right? Like, yeah, this team, and again, people have said it for a month now, and every time they get a good win, people say, well, it's a shame that they lost this and this and this. Yeah, but, I mean, if there was only 1 or 2, then you could say that, right? But no, it's been like 5 times out now that it happened. I mean, they have enough bad losses that it's just who they are, and we know that. Said it before. You have to live with the ups, and just the same way as you have to live with the downs as a fan of the program, right? And it's one of those things where, like, people all know it, can't reasonably expect to keep this core together. It has nothing to do with UNLV. They could be in any program in this conference, and guys like Gibbs Lawhorn and Jones and probably Williamson are going to get plucked away, okay? Miles Che, same thing. And Pastor's just going to have to rebuild and do it all over again. Any of those guys back is gold, because I just don't expect it. And it's a shame, because now they're going to have one game left in Viejas on Saturday. Well, it's Friday night, and then next week. So you would expect them to win their Wednesday game. Thursday, they will give somebody a battle. Who knows? It could be anybody at this point. It could be anybody. Way too many scenarios and permutations and combinations that could develop for us to know who's going to be seated where or who's going to play where, right? But they give somebody a battle. I just don't know. I just don't think they'll be able to win 4 games in 4 days, right? Yes, CSU did it last year. Yes, New Mexico did it. Well, I guess CSU was only 3 because they were a high enough seed that they didn't have to win the 4th game. But New Mexico did it 2 years ago. I don't see them doing it. They certainly can upset a team on Thursday and give somebody a battle on Friday, and who knows. But I just don't see it as well as they're playing. But listen, massive credit to them. I mean, Fleming had a triple-double. It's kind of hokey because he was in the game in the last minute in a 30-point game when the starters came out, and he was clearly just in to see if he could get that rebound. And Stephen is so out of it that he's stealing rebounds from his own guy that would have given him a triple-double, right? Now, I mean, that's nitpicky, and it's just stuff that I chuckle at. He did get it in the last few seconds, but even if he hadn't, 12 points, he had 12 assists, and I think he had 8 assists in the first half, 10 rebounds. Good game for that dude, right? I mean, that's incredible. Jones, 8 for 10 from the floor, 4 boards, 3 assists, 17 points, right? And Hamilton, good game, 10 for 14, 24 points, 7 boards, 3 assists. Let's talk about Utah State now for a minute. Some of their fans have worried that they're in that same trajectory the wrong way as they were last year when they had that swoon. And I have been saying before tonight, I don't think so. They'll be okay. It's just one game. They lost to Nevada, or they lost to San Diego State. Nothing wrong with losing at San Diego State or at Nevada. And now I have to wonder, right? Because look at what Collins, 4 points on 2 for 10 shooting, 0 for 6 from 3. He is basically the Pasquarelli, right? Pasquarelli and Collins in the non-con were Steph Curry and pick your other 3-point shooter that doesn't miss. And now they've gone cold here Pasquarelli's been hurt, but Collins has not played up to snuff in the last close to a month, few weeks for sure. I mean, Falslev did everything that he could do. Ironically, tonight probably sealed up the player of the year in the conference for Falslev. So the only good things that come out of tonight, and I mean, nothing, whatever, as far as the team, but the fact that Falslev probably locked up the player of the year because he went for 20 and 11, 4 assists, drawing charges, going after loose balls. The guy just does everything. Everybody knows that. But who knows? They may not win the conference, so maybe people won't vote. I don't know. Maybe this will impress the Gibbs Lawhorn backers tonight because they're continuing to get hot, and he played a part in a winning effort. But the only thing you can hang your hat on from a team perspective moving forward here for Utah State is that Tucker Anderson is alive. They did a wellness check on Tucker Anderson, and he is alive and well. Okay, but this tells you, right? This tells you how, I hate to use the word desperate, but this tells you how desperate Calhoun is and where he's at with his squad right now. Anderson's had DNPs all over the map for basically the last 2 months, okay? Can't even get on the floor. in games that they were winning by double figures, in games that they're losing. More DNPs than games he actually gets in, okay? Complete loss of confidence by him on himself, by his coach. I'm not putting it on the staff, but by the staff on him, and to the point where you can't even play him, right? And now tonight, because I'm guessing Calhoun's pissed at Perryman, he's pissed at Clark, he's pissed at Elamine. Look at the numbers for those guys, minutes for those guys. Elamine, 11 minutes. Perryman, 6 minutes. Clark, 6 minutes. Now, he wouldn't really take Perryman's minutes, but he could sure as hell take Elamine and Clark's minutes, right? And, I mean, he's just grasping at straws, Calhoun is. Now, Anderson repaid him tonight. He paid him back and certainly showed out. 15 points, 6 for 11. He only made 1 out of 5 threes, but 3 rebounds and 3 assists. So he at least did some other things, and he scored 15 points, and he finished some stuff inside too. So if that's a guy now that Calhoun says, all right, we can use this guy, because now their biggest game of the year becomes on Saturday, without a doubt. Okay, without a doubt, it becomes Saturday. But, with Collins going in the tank, Allen was okay tonight. 5 assists, 4 for 7, only 2 turnovers, 11 points, 4 for 7 shooting. You'll take that. You didn't get much from anybody else. Elamine and Perryman, bagels. King, 4 points, not a whole lot in 24 minutes, 2 for 7. Templin, not really. He was limited by the athleticism in the front court of UNLV. So you need somebody else to step up. And, you need Collins too. But if you can get Anderson too, that's huge. Because here's the thing, all right? That's 3 losses out of 4 games now for the Aggies. And the only reason, and we'll see what they say tomorrow, the bracketologists, amateur and non-amateur. We'll see what they say, okay? The only reason that they haven't fallen like in danger zone where New Mexico is or close to that is because the bubble sucks this year. It's horrible. It's bad every year, but it's horrible, okay? Now, tonight I was watching it, and I was really disgusted by the efforts of several of our teams each hour, and it just built up, and I was just like angry between San Diego State, Nevada, and now Utah State to finish tonight. I was like disgusted beyond belief. And then looking at the other scores across the country, not a good night for our teams because the other teams around the bubble, nobody took a bad loss. UCLA beat Nebraska where they were up 15 with a few minutes left. So I'm assuming they didn't blow that. So UCLA is going to be in. You can lock that one in. Some of the other fringe teams, they all won. So nobody really took a bad loss. A&M won. They beat Kentucky, so they're going to be in. Like the only team that lost, I think, was on Missouri to Oklahoma. But again, like looking the last few days since the weekend at these last 4 in and first 4 out, like, no offense to New Mexico fans, I'm rooting for you, but all those teams are flawed. Like Indiana, awful, terrible, right? VCU, why are they in or close to in ahead of New Mexico? I don't get it, right? On Santa Clara, same thing. There's just not any good teams there. So that's what will keep Utah State above the danger zone right now, although they're dropping seed lines like they're going in quicksand. But I'm going to tell you right now, they're flirting with the bubble, and if they lose on Saturday, they're going to find themselves in a very tricky situation come next week, okay? Because that would be 4 losses out of 5, and then obviously you won't win the conference tournament, otherwise you get an at-large, and then it's a moot point, right? So you best win on Saturday. Now, maybe, I don't know, but maybe there was a slight bit of them that I don't want to say didn't put 100% out in this game, but it's possible that they just figured, let's go play tonight, but Saturday that's for the whole marbles, right? Because if we win, it's our title, and if we lose, like it's not, or we shared or whatever. And so not that tonight didn't mean anything, but the more important game was Saturday, okay? I don't know that I buy that. But I guess that's something if you want to look for a silver lining as an Aggie fan, maybe you can convince yourself into buying that theory, right? I don't know that I do, but it's something to whatever, okay? But I certainly wouldn't feel super confident going into Saturday now. We didn't see New Mexico playing the midweek yet. I'm sure they're considering themselves fortunate they didn't play tonight with how it went, but they'll have a shorter day of rest, and they have to travel, so not an advantage for the Lobos. But like the Aggies aren't exactly brimming with confidence, right? This was, again, the worst game that they played in probably like I can't even remember when. Like, they were bad when they lost at South Florida early in the year, but I don't know if they were this bad. I mean, their first half was really bad out there at South Florida, but this was like really bad. And so, like, I mean, what's the mindset in the locker room there? You've lost 3 out of 4. You had to hang on for dear life in the 4th win on Saturday against Grand Canyon at home. So I get it. You'll have the home court advantage. They'll be going nuts. Chance to win the league title. You did it the same night, really, 2 years ago with Sprinkle and Osabor and Darius Brown making that huge deep 3 off the kick out late in the clock to beat New Mexico at home and win the league title. So you'll get unfortunately that was at night on TV. This, and it will be on the Mountain West Network and not on TV, which is really ridiculous. I'm thinking, I haven't dug into it yet, but looking at the schedule, none of the league games Saturday are on TV. Okay, now we know that the conference tournaments for all of the big leagues start next week, like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, right? And that's fact. Okay, what nobody's thought of, and I'll look on my TV guide maybe tomorrow or Thursday. I'm thinking like 95%. The reason is because of the women's tournaments. Okay, whether you guys want to hear it or not, I'm almost positive that the CBS Sports and the Fox Sports and the other channels, are going to have women's college tournaments, conference tournaments on, because they run those the weekend before the men's, because they want to split it up and they don't want to get overwhelmed by it and arenas and travel, all that. So that's what's going to be on those channels on Saturday night, right? But it is wild that game is not going to be on TV. And I really don't see, it doesn't matter that it's for first or not, they're not going to add it or change it at the 11th hour. I just don't see that happening. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see it happening now. We're just going to have to accept it. It's on the Mountain West Network. You got to deal with it, right? So that's aside. We have a few days before we get to that point. But so, look, it comes down to Saturday for the Aggies, and I wouldn't feel super confident if I was an Aggie fan right now, okay? Obviously, the way that we've seen teams, yo-yo up and down and seesaw it back and forth with their efforts, of course they could bounce back and win the game by 12. They already drilled New Mexico in the pit, so maybe it's just a better matchup for them. But they're not exactly trending the right way right now, okay? So we'll see. We'll see. All right, let me get to some of the comments here, and then I'll get to another poor effort. And I'm looking over your way, people, you guys in northern Nevada. Okay. Let's see here. Vinny says player of the year shouldn't be given to a player who loses the UNLV twice. The problem is, Vinny, is that somebody's got to get it, right? I mean, there has to be a winner. And JK, this is absolute satire. And look, you earned it. You deserve it. If you thought maybe not. Maybe you are. It says us San Diego State fans were mad during the Grand Canyon game. Wait until Friday. I thought I was reading that as satire, saying that they were really going to get Grand Canyon the second time and they didn't, and now they're really going to get UNLV the second time. But they already beat UNLV, so I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. You're reading that the right way. Definitely going to be an interesting tournament, Steve. So, D-Rax, we'll get to the Aztecs in a minute. A lot to say about them, Heidi and Gwath, as far as being soft, and they do take inefficient shots. I've said that all along. Crazy Lobo, yeah, you guys are the big winners tonight. I mean, Boise, Wyoming, and obviously UNLV were too, but couldn't have broken any better for you guys tonight, because what's wild is that I guess, JK, you are an Aztec fan. I thought you were being sarcastic there. I thought the LV stood for Las Vegas. You don't do anything right. Disappointment of a squad wasting the fans' time. So if the Lobos win tomorrow first, but if they win out, they win their last 2 games, they will win the conference regular season title outright. and that was like astronomical odds like 2 weeks ago. Now it's going to require them to pull an upset on Saturday. It doesn't matter how poorly the Aggies are playing. It's still going to require them to pull an upset, and that's not going to be easy. But if they do, they win an outright league title, and that's wild. That's absolutely wild. Not excited as an Aztec fan right now. I don't know that I would be either. Is there a stat for most missed dunks in a season? Bird would be at the top. He definitely leads. Armo Trading missed one tonight, and then about a minute after that, somebody from Fresno missed one. So we had like 3 in a 5-minute stretch. It's disappointing, but is there a close second? I don't know. Probably not. He's missed the most dunks in the nation. Yeah, I don't know at what point you learn that. Like that, again, I've probably mentioned that before, but like you either have to fix that or your coaching staff has to fix that, or they're trying to fix that and you don't allow them to fix it. And so that's an even bigger problem. Okay. I don't know. Dangerous teams, UNLV, Boise. Yeah, absolutely. And we didn't even talk about Colorado State because we didn't see them tonight. They've won 7 in a row. So, I mean, my goodness. Go Lobos. We'll see how the Lobos respond tomorrow, because tonight should be a wake-up call to the Lobos, because they got a hot team coming into town. And as I mentioned the other night, or maybe it was on my pod because I wasn't thinking of it the other night, an ultimate sandwich spot tomorrow for the Lobos, coming off of that big emotional win against San Diego State in the pit on Saturday, and now the big first-place showdown on Saturday, this coming Saturday in the Spectrum. And so in the middle here, you got Colorado State, who, they don't have Isaiah Stevens, and they don't have Nick Clifford, and they don't have Nico Medved, and we're just going to show up because we're the greatest thing, and we're on fire, and we're tied for first, and we're just going to show up and win the game. Maybe they will, but the Rams are going to show up to play, and they'll be much more competitive than they were the first time when the Lobos beat them in Fort Collins. 3 rebounds for the San Diego State Bigs today. Not super. Disgraceful is the word that you used. No dogs. Remind me about that, because I said that about 3 months ago. Okay. Yeah, definitely, Timothy. I just said that. All the marbles if they win tomorrow. And, back in November, and I'll be the first to admit it, because I'm sure there'll be some Lobo fans that want to point it out to me. I did not see that happening, okay? Did not see it happening. So it's huge credit to Olin, especially if he can win these last 2 games. They deserve it. He deserves Coach of the Year 100%, and they deserve to be in the tournament, even if they wouldn't win the conference tournament, and they would get in if they win tomorrow and Saturday. Awesome job. Now, it would be the byproduct of 2 absolute collapses by the Aggies and the Aztecs. But hey, you take care of what you take care of, and they take care of what they take care of. And if they don't take care of it, you reap the rewards, and that's what the Lobos are doing. Nevada biggest loser today. They're the 7 seed. Are you serious? All I knew was so now it does matter, because with the other results, because here I've been saying for so long that, it's just between them and Grand Canyon for 4 or 5, and what does it really matter, because the 5 seed just gets to go through a scrimmage against Air Force. Well, guess what? If they indeed did drop down to the 7 seed, and they'll win on Saturday because they play Air Force. If they're indeed the 7 seed, so that's going to give them a game likely against Fresno, and I would expect them to win that game. But then the problem comes in the fact that they're going to have to play the 2 seed. Now, who knows who that could be, right? But obviously they don't match up super well with San Diego State. They beat Utah State. They beat New Mexico. So they would take their chances. But, the teams, ironically, that you want to avoid are all in that middle right now. Boise, CSU, UNLV. You're not going to play those teams in the first game if you're UNLV. If you're Nevada. All right. Yeah, okay. So now I'm getting to all the muted comments. That was odd. And like I said, BJ had some issues when he kind of and he had to log off early, so we'll have to check that out. Yeah, Bleed Blue, you said that happened with BJ earlier, so that was goofy. Thankfully I changed the okay. Anyway, I don't know, how long did I go? It was only a minute or 2, right? I think it wasn't too long. Anyway, okay, Bob, I expect you to be able to read lips, so get on that. 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Maybe it was 3 minutes, 18 seconds. Okay. Anyway, let's get to that Nevada game because what a dog effort by them. And so, with Air Force as your last game, not that it's an easy task, but you have to show up tonight and play and win the game, and then you earn yourself a bye next Wednesday, right? Get a day off, home seed. Not that matters. Higher seed, home jerseys on Thursday. Well, obviously that didn't matter too much to Nevada because their effort in the first half was deplorable, okay? Wyoming scored the ball at a ridiculous clip in the first half, and they shot the ball well, but that's because they got open looks. Nevada was a step and a half behind everything. Wyoming was just moving the ball. They went wherever they wanted. They got open looks, and it was really disappointing. I thought Price semi showed up. He got half credit, like I said. Nobody else did anything worth a damn out there. Alford, to his credit, he whacked 2 timeouts in the first 10 or 12 minutes because he knew. And so, this is where, and I'll talk about it with Dutcher in a few minutes, but, Wyoming scored 15 points in the first 4 minutes of the game, and Alford didn't care that the game clock was at 15:58, meaning that there's a TV timeout coming at the next dead ball. But as soon as Wyoming got that bucket, he called timeout, right? Because 15 points in 4 minutes, that extrapolates. There's your SAT word for the show here. Extrapolates out 5 segments of 4 minutes in the half. 15 times 5 is 75. That works out to a 75-minute half defensively. So he obviously realizes that whatever that he game planned or prepped for in the scout is not working defensively, or whatever Wyoming has cooked up is working. So he's going to call timeout. He's going to try to address it and fix it before it spirals into anything worse. And what happened? They came back from the timeout, and Nevada shut them out over the next 3 minutes. Okay, now, unfortunately for Nevada, that was the high mark of their game tonight, was that 3-minute stretch where they shut Wyoming out. Okay, they crawled back into it. They cut it to, I think, 1 or 2, and then it was just downhill from there. So credit Bennett, largely, Caden Bennett, because he's been unconscious the last few weeks now. He's been by far their best player, and what did he do tonight? Let me pull these guys up here. Is he went, I think, for 27, 7, and 6. Is that what it 27, 7, and 5, right? 1 turnover, 34 minutes, 6 for 8 from deep, 8 for 12 total. I mean, that's pretty damn impressive. And Dennis, 9 of 13 for 18 points. As a team, Wyoming shoots 63%, 29 of 46. And 9 of 21 for 3 on 43%. Nevada shoots 8 more shots. They rebounding is a wash. They only turn it over 6 times, and they lose by 10 because they were all on the back foot defensively all night. It was pretty difficult to watch. They were just out of it. Price, 20 points. He was efficient. Missed some free throws early, but I mean, Weems certainly cooled off after his hot night the other night. Camper, 11, but it took him 12 shots to get it, 3 for 12. That's not good enough. Comer, any insight there, Pac fans? Comer, 9 minutes and Bagels. He almost pulled the zeros across the board. He had 2 assists and 2 turnovers in 9 minutes. Didn't even take a shot. Bailey, TR was one of their better players. He had 14 and 4 assists in 23 minutes off the bench. But, they haven't played great on the road, but their effort was just poor. I mean, I guess you can give them a sliver of credit for playing hard in the second half. But, man, that's a low bar if that's what we're reaching for here to say, oh, they competed hard in the second half. Come on. Wyoming cooled off a little bit. I mean, they missed a few shots. They didn't make every shot the way they did in the first half. So it's just a disappointing effort when you know what's at stake. I get it. You just lost to your rival in overtime. You played well. It was a good game. And you came up a 1 play, 1 bucket short, right? But, I mean, come on. And this is where Pac fans start to get frustration with Alford. I mean, this has been a hallmark of the way that things have gone largely in his tenure here. I mean, maybe 1 year with Lucas and Blackshear, but every other year that I can remember since COVID, they've kind of tailed off at the end of the year. I mean, he hasn't had a lot of success. I say this every show, but he has not had a lot of success in the conference tournament. Maybe it'll happen this year, but do you have faith in that as a Nevada fan right now? Because I don't, unfortunately. Maybe, who knows? Let's see what they do on Saturday against Air Force. If you're Wyoming, I mean, look, you're probably going to be in the 8-9 game now. Who are you going to play? I have no idea. Like, if CSU loses tomorrow to New Mexico, which is the favored outcome, right? Doesn't mean it'll happen, as we saw tonight. But if they lose, maybe it'll be CSU. That'll be an interesting game, right? CSU, Nevada. So, even matchup. Would like to see that. Because I don't know, like, who else it could be. Oh, no, it would be, I'm sorry, I'm talking about Wyoming. Nevada would be the 7 against Fresno. So, could be Wyoming. Interesting. Yeah, that would be one more border war battle, I guess. Because Boise and UNLV, I mean, they've just been piling up wins here over the last couple weeks now. And so that's probably the way it's looking. I have to sort everything out, including tiebreakers tomorrow, or maybe wait until Thursday when the game is over tomorrow night so we can find out where exactly CSU lands. But, I mean, that's what you want if you're Wyoming. Like, you obviously played poorly on Saturday, right, when you had to squeak by and get a late bucket to do so against 0-19 Air Force. So I had a feeling they would bounce back and play better today. It didn't mean that they would win comfortably and control the game for 40 minutes. I mean, the point spread was a pick'em, so it's not like this was an upset. This was a flat pick'em, largely because of the home court and the fact that Nevada hasn't played well away from home. And so that's one team showed up and one team didn't. You know, disappointing, frustrating. I can only imagine what Nevada fans feel, because I felt like one of them, and that was awful to watch. And so, but credit to Wyoming, good for them. Their last home game, good job by the Cowboys. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that is, I'm going through them. So that's funny. Yep. So that was 30 minutes ago that you said that. It could be a while with how infrequently I check the comments. There's too many on here for me to go through all the time. BJ suffered the same problem. Yeah, that's what he said. So I don't know. Yeah, I didn't hit the Sun Cruiser. I was considering it watching these games here. But anyway, okay. So let's talk about then the I guess the other big game of the night and up in Boise that BJ talked about and lost on his show then when Boise knocked off the Aztecs. Now the final was 86-77. This by no means represented a single-digit game, right? Like it was not. I mean, for the first half, most of it was. But, you know, you got to take into consideration, in a 20-minute half, it's difficult to run out and sustain, like, large double-figure leads all the time, right? So, like, you build up a margin, and then you extend it if you're a better team in the second half. Now, I don't know what the hell happened with San Diego State, okay? Although, hold on, let me say this. If you listen Saturday night or you listen to the pod when I recorded it Sunday night, I said several times that I thought it would be challenging for San Diego State to show up here, okay? Even though they still had a chance to share, or I guess even win outright, especially had the games been in reverse and Utah State lost first, they clearly could have still won the outright title. Now they actually still do have a chance to win a three-way share of the title if they win and New Mexico loses tomorrow. How would that have to work? So they have 6 losses and Utah State is 5. So New Mexico would need to lose tomorrow, and then Utah State would need to lose, so they'd all end up with 6 losses. Then I have to figure out the tiebreakers because who knows who's going to finish 4th and 5th. But anyway, it didn't matter to me that they had that still in their back pocket. Like, they were cooked for an at-large, and that's deflating, right? And then the way they lost, I know I like with the review and stuff, I didn't put too much stock into that because they were losing at that point throughout most of the game or the second half. But, all of that and I just didn't think you would get a peak effort. And guess what? You didn't get a peak effort. It was pretty poor. And I think, I hate to say it, but I think it trickled down all the way down to Dutcher because he adopted the Pastner plan tonight of not calling timeout. I probably would have used 3 timeouts at different points, not 3 different timeouts, but at 3 different points would I have used a timeout if I was Dutcher in that first half, okay, as things were just like going south. And, then as I commented on that on Twitter, then some Aztec fans said, and I don't disagree with them, but they said, well, like, look, these guys, in other words, the roster, they tuned him out. They don't listen to him. Like, this guy, they're not a coachable group, things along those lines, right? And I get all that, right? But then, like, you have two choices as a coach. You either try something or you're just giving in and not showing up the same as the players, right? And that's not really what you're supposed to do as an employee, right? It's your job to get the best out of your guys. Now, he did try somewhat at one point to go like hockey line change and have the whole bench in because the starters were not doing it. So he did try to mix the lineups up. But, man, like, call a timeout at some point and try and, like, fire your guys up or do something. Get a technical. Like, have one of your assistants go berserk on them. I don't get it. It was almost like they just all agreed in the locker room before the game, like, well, let's just go out and, use this as a run-through practice for next week's tournament, because they just seem like disinterested, right? They're not connected. All those key words and phrases I used to describe UNLV a half an hour ago, the opposite of that is what I feel with San Diego State right now. And there were times in the first half because I did, and somebody said to me on a comment that I made, how I think it was on my pod last night that I said, I don't expect them to win tonight, but I think they'll buck up, they'll pull themselves up by the bootstraps, and I think they'll win 3 games next week in Vegas to go to the big dance. Now, all it took was for me to watch like half of the first half, and I don't think I can say that anymore. Like, I can't say that with like serious conviction anymore. Like, they just look so bad. They look so disjointed. I don't want to say they don't care or that they quit, but they are not bought in the way you need to be bought in as a team when you're going up against other teams and coaches and players that are bought in. Bottom line, okay? Like, one thing you can't say about New Mexico, you can say they might not have the top-end talent, they might lack another scorer, they might lack another big, they might lack this or that. One thing you can't say is that they're not bought in and they're not connected, all right? That's like numero uno of what they bring to the table, right? And some of the other teams seem to be like wavering with that as we go on in the season here too. But like, I just don't feel it, right? And it's like we've said all year, well, they have the talent and let's just wait for this and let's just wait for that. Well, my gosh, like, look, yeah, they beat Utah State by 20 last week, and then they've sandwiched like 4 losses around that in the last 2.5 weeks. So it's very frustrating. Aztec Twitter have kind of sold them all down the river because they're beyond frustrated. The roster has been a massive disappointment up and down the lineup. Let me put these up here. I didn't put them on the screen yet. So let's go over what the stats. I mean, the number one stat to take out of this, and I tweeted this out too. Look at the rebounds. Total rebounds, 37 to 15. 37 to 15. That is embarrassing. The Broncos almost got more offensive rebounds than San Diego State got total rebounds. They had 12 offensive rebounds. San Diego State had 15 total rebounds. 2 offensive rebounds for a team as athletic as San Diego State, right? That's just unacceptable, and it just shows that you just don't have any fight or care or effort or anything. It's just poor. It's awful. It's awful, right? And I said way back in November, in December, right, that this team had dudes, but they had no dogs, right? I said that. Dudes, but no dogs. In other words, they had guys who could play. And I think I may have said it before the Troy game, but I said after watching them lose that game to Troy, and I didn't have the shows here with BJ yet, I was just doing my pod, or maybe on a show with Steve, or somewhere else, that if you go to the park, and the guys are, or the rec center, and guys are playing pickup, and you're going to draft guys from those 2 teams, that the Aztec players will be drafted probably like 1 through 10, and the Troy players will be drafted like 11 through 20. Okay, I don't know if there'll be one Troy player drafted ahead of for a pickup game ahead of any of the top 10 Aztecs, right? Because they're not as talented. When you watch guys shoot around or play or warm up or whatever, right? But when you get on a court with 4 other players, in a system with a coach and you have to execute, they can't do it consistently for 40 minutes, night in and night out. They can't. This group can't do it. Can't do it. Okay? They're not, whether it's the roles, whether it's the I don't know. Okay? Guath, 15 minutes, 4 points, 1 rebound. Harrington was okay in 24 minutes, 9 points, 4 for 7, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. He wasn't bad. Bird, 23 minutes, 7 points, 2 for 5, 4 assists, one of his customary missed dunks, and then he got hurt, right? You know, I never like to see guys get hurt. I do think he was limping, but, I mean, that act is like, you know, we've seen that act before. I mean, just lay the damn ball in. Like, how many dunks, you know? Waters, 30 minutes, 23 points, 8 for 14, shot the ball well. Heidi, 1 rebound, 19 minutes, 1 rebound. So there's your front court, starting front court, Heidi and Guath, 34 minutes and 2 rebounds for your 2 big guys. Newman, 16 minutes, 2 points. Compton, 6 minutes. He doesn't even play anymore. I don't know why. Dutcher must not like something he sees or doesn't see out of Compton. DeGorville, 19 minutes, 4 points. He basically wasn't even out there. Didn't even really notice him. BJ Davis, didn't notice him. 18 minutes, 6 points. Simmons played well. 22 minutes, 12 points. Just awful. Fielder, let's give Boise some credit. And I'll come back to Boise in a minute. I just want to finish up on the Aztecs here because let me finish the box score. Fielder, 33 and 9. He didn't even start, I don't think, because of senior night, but 33 and 9 for Fielder. Not much else from the bench. Carmichael, a few minutes as he's working his way back from injury. Buchanan was good in senior night, 17 points, 4 boards. Meadow, 12 and 5. Andrews, 13. Only 5 shots, so good for him playing under control tonight. Did have 5 turnovers, so that's not super. But anyway, so it's very disappointing, right? They just don't have any. They don't have any dogs, guys willing to like do the plays. And you guys rip him. If you're not an Aggie fan, you rip Templin, but willing to do the things that guys like Templin and Falslev and other guys are willing to do to help your team. Now, like I'm not saying tonight, because it didn't work for them tonight. But over the long haul, over the course of the season, guys like Templin, and there are other guys. I'm not just counting those 2. But those 2 come to mind, guys that are willing to do stuff that you need to do to help your team win games that don't maybe show up on a stat sheet, right? Not everybody's willing to do that stuff. But those are winning players that make winning plays. And the Aztecs, they don't really have anybody like that, right? They don't have anybody like that. And that goes back to the other phrase that I've said all along. And I get some people don't like it. You know, Mike, San Diego State Mike, who's conspicuous by his absence in here tonight after his team laid an egg, said the other night that I'm too cool for school, I said, and he's like, yeah, after they beat Utah State last week, and giving me crap. Well, show up when your team lays an egg too, right? Let's not just be front runners here, okay? Let's own up to when your team plays like crap and own up to it, all right? It's not always the officials' fault. They didn't have anything to do with it tonight. Your team stunk, all right? They've been a massive disappointment this year, and it's frustrating, right? And I just don't have faith in them getting it together next week. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. As for Boise, good job. Good game plan. They executed it well. They took care of the ball for the most part. Obviously dominated the glass, as I just said. Fielder was a beast. Buchanan played tough. And so they got to like the position they're in. They have an interesting game on Saturday in Fort Collins against another team playing good basketball. Boise hasn't been perfect the last 5 weeks, but they've certainly played much better than they did in January, right? There's no disputing it, okay? They know where they're at. They know the deal. I do think that they, not San Diego State, I do think Boise would accept a bid to, I don't know if they want to go back to the Crown. They were there last year. Maybe, I don't know. They would probably like to play in the NIT, even though that thing's gone downhill. And we'll see how it goes. But they're playing good basketball. They know what's in front of them. They're going to have to win 4 games in 4 days. Maybe how the seeding shakes out, one of them will be not as difficult on Wednesday. Still going to have to play it. But they'll take their chances then. And Leon's had success in the tournament before, made it to the final last year. So that's all you can ask for, a chance to get that deep and see what happens, right? So credit Boise for playing out hard. Had to figure out what happened with Boise, although you never know. And so credit to them. All right, I'm going to talk for 2 minutes about the other two games, and then I'm going to cycle through the rest of the comments because there's a bunch, I think, that came in after I stopped reading them. GCU 86-60 over Air Force. Didn't watch a second of it. Didn't even look at the numbers, so I'm going to put it up there for literally 30 seconds. Loeb shoot 56%, 43% from three. Not a lot of turnovers, nothing much else in there. Sanders had 18 for Air Force. He shot the ball well the other night too. Balance for the Lopes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys in double figures. They had no Shaw again. I don't know if Shaw will be back at all. And no Breidenbach. He got banged up at the end of that Utah State game. So Evans, 10 points and 5 boards for the big man. Dennis Evans, he got 20 minutes. Stromer made 2 threes and had 12 points. Owusu Anane didn't do much again. Demeril, not much either. Demeril didn't play a whole lot. Looks like he was in foul trouble. Henley was 17, Moore 12, Williams 14. So, look, Grand Canyon did what they needed to do. They are going to, barring some type of whatever, be the 4 seed. So, pretty impressive for them in their first year in the conference here to get a bye. The other game then was Fresno knocking off San Jose State 82-68. Watched good portions of this. No Collins, so credit to Fresno for scoring 82 without Collins, and they were really pouring it on. They only ended the first half with 45, but they were at 44 with like 4 minutes left. I thought they could get to 50 in the first half. They shot 11 for 24 from 3. That helps. Highbrader only 3 for 10. Foss made 3 for 5. The big guy, Wilson Jack, shot 2 for 2, and Manny 2 for 2. A couple bigs there shoot 4 for 4. You don't have that all the time. Gorey went for 14 and 7. How about Wilson Jack, 16 points and 19 rebounds? Not bad. Not a bad game for the big guy. Garland had 26 for Miles' crew. He played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Basically played 6 guys. Garland and Myers played 40 minutes. Myers, he's like been putting up these massive numbers. He had 17 and 16. He's like Barkley out there. He's not even a big guy. He cleans up the glass. Good for him. Losing cause. I mean, they're the 11 seed. They'll probably get beat on Wednesday in the 6-11 game. But, I mean, maybe they give somebody a game for 30 minutes the way they shoot the ball. So we'll see what happens there. All right, I'm going to cycle through some comments here. Yeah, Paul, 2 straight losses, quick turnaround to play a hot UNLV team. Yeah, I mean, look, UNLV is going to be coming in there playing with more confidence, and I have no idea what type of effort you're going to get out of the Aztecs on I keep saying Saturday. It's Friday night. It is a appreciate that, Dan. You hear me? I don't know why I was out there, but anyway, level. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know what type of effort you're going to get from them. And UNLV is going to be coming in hot. Like, we've seen them, everybody knows, lay some eggs at times. I don't know. I think they'll come out and play hard. I think they'll come out and be ready to go. They won at Viejas last year. So, like, I know it's a different team, different coach, different players, but it was a shocker, definitely. And more shocking than just the result was the way it played out. Okay? What was that? Okay. Yeah, maybe. JK had a Sun Cruiser last weekend. Way to go, buddy. Good job. Appreciate you supporting. JK, you didn't want to hear a word from Dutcher. Yeah, I'm sure if you want to, you could find some of his sound bites. Certainly not his best coaching job. I mean, look, you can whoever, depending on how you want to attack it, you can go at the players for this. You can go at the coach for this. Like, they both have to take on their fair share of blame, right? Like, there's no way to get around both of them deserving blame in it. Like, it is what it is. First of all, he put the roster together. He did a poor job, not just him. His staff did a poor job evaluating the transfer talent. Okay, go back and listen to my pods over the summer or in September, October, and I said I wasn't impressed with Newman or Odin. They probably made the wrong decision in redshirting the only one that could have helped them this year in Davis, Latrell Davis, right? Like, wrong decision. You know, they were so deep, they redshirted Davis. Well, That's a massive misfire there in hindsight, right? Definitely Mountain West After Dark, Nathaniel. Yeah, Jordan, it's funny. I was just so like all over the place as I came on here, but I should have said that. The fact remains, like after tonight, and don't take offense to this, New Mexico fans, because it very well could be you, but like we only deserve one bid at this point. After watching our teams play the last few weeks, we really don't deserve more than one bid, right? Like it is what it is. Like we got to call it like it is. And it drives me nuts and I get it that they have to do it, but the both CBS crews in the Boise San Diego State game and in the UNLV Utah State game, they keep showing these damn graphics with the last four in, first four out, New Mexico here, San Diego State here, and it's like, dude, give it up. Like San Diego State is not, they're not like, and they all, I get it. Like, I love Dick Al and Rich Waltz. I think they're great. They're my favorite CBS crew for sure. But like they refuse to acknowledge that San Diego State played poorly. Like they were trying so hard in that second half to like manufacture some type of comeback, and out, it's down to 15, and you can't count the Aztecs out. I just want somebody once to like call it like it is, right? Just like flat out say that they're not playing well. Like this is a bad effort from them tonight, right? You can do it in a nice way. You can credit the opponent and say Boise's really made it difficult, but this hasn't been San Diego State's best tonight. Like not once did I hear that. Like Dick Al knows that. The guy played at a high level at Gonzaga, right? Like he knows what he's talking about. Like say that, Dan. Come on. Like I don't need the sugar-coated nonsense that maybe we have a run in them here. Like hogwash. Anybody that watched that game, and it's all over social media, knows that the Aztecs put a crap effort out there, and there was no way in hell they were coming back, right? So say that. Say that. Like, I don't know. Are you told not to say that? Or are you told that you can't say anything bad about, like, the team that you're watching, that you're broadcasting? I don't know. Same thing in the Utah State game. Like, it was pretty evident then by like the 7-8 minute mark of the second half that they'd kind of given in, and like not one word from I can't remember that Mike O'Donnell guy, I think his name is, who by and large he does a good job, but like, and you can credit UNLV for being on fire in the second half, which they were, and that's all they were focusing on. How about like throwing some shade at call it like it is, man? Like Utah State was dog with blank in the second half, right? Like let's call that stuff out, man. Like let's not just be like, they're 7 seed in the bracket by our CBS guys. Like drives me nuts. Now you got me going here, Jordan, because yeah, we do deserve to be a one bid league, right? And New Mexico, I hope you prove me wrong and go get that second bid. But I don't know that we deserve it, okay? Because our big guns have shot blanks recently, okay? Yeah, I don't think there's anything. I think the conspiracy theories were quiet tonight from both of those fan bases because there was nothing nefarious about anything going on here. They should check their own. Like I said, I think they shared a pregame meal, and it was like, I don't know, maybe like some laced food or something because that was bad. Yeah, well, it happened, Dan, because like they're playing connected, like they're playing team basketball. That's what you should want as a coach. I think Pastner wants that. We all want that as a coach. We want what you saw tonight. We want Gibbs Lawhorn, a guy who's been on an absolute terror for 30 a game over 9 games, to not care about scoring and pass the ball and only take 5 shots through 35 minutes. If you would have told me that he would only take 5 shots through 35 minutes, I would have told you that he left the game with an injury, right? There's like no conceivable way that happens. Just doesn't make sense. But yet he did. So massive credit to him, okay? And for Pastner again, for keeping these guys right, finding the proper rotations, sticking with it, holding other guys accountable, okay? So, yeah, good for them. Like, I'm happy for them. Definitely happy for them. Yeah, absolutely. A lot of sweeps. And certainly, the circle of suck at this point was tonight, Jordan, the 3-team circle of suck, where they all decided to not show up. First, it was San Diego State in the 9 o'clock hour for me, and then Nevada in the 10 o'clock hour, and then Utah State in the 11 o'clock hour. They all completed that like we're not going to show up effort, okay? Poop, peed, and lit the bed on fire tonight. You are absolutely correct. If New Mexico will lose tomorrow, that would pretty much round it out. Yep. JK can admit then as an Aztec fan that you're just overhyped. Appreciate that. Man, I'm so far behind on the comments here. So, all right, I'm going to run through these. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see. UNLV can be a problem. There's no doubt they could. Boise would have won in Viejas. Yeah, well, I do remember that. UNLV, could it be a one big league? Absolutely, Timothy. 100%. I mean, because listen, if New Mexico if they win tomorrow and lose at Utah State, and again, that's not a guarantee, but UNLV look great sick, 100%. That's the favorite outcome, right? Do we expect that at this point? Who knows what to expect? But if that happens, right, like there's going to be bid thieves, like you guys all, if you guys follow college basketball outside of the Mountain West at all, and I don't watch a lot of it, but I follow it. I read the box scores. I read like stuff on social media. I watch some interviews and stuff like that. You know damn well that Miami of Ohio is not going to win their conference tournament. Okay, they're 30-0. They play one game left, probably Saturday, maybe Friday, but probably Saturday, and then they're going to play in the MAC tournament. They're going to get in the tournament, the big dance, no matter what. And, of course, they're going to lose in the MAC tournament because it's going to, it's just the way it's going to work. I might find a way to bet money on it. I'm willing to bet money on it. They will not win the MAC tournament. So that's going to cost a bid right there. We're going to, some of these other teams that we've been ripping, Auburn, right? They won tonight. They beat a crap team. They play Alabama Saturday, right? They're going to beat Alabama, and then they'll get in. Somebody else, like Virginia Tech plays somebody that's pretty decent on Saturday. They'll win. They'll get in. So, like, if New Mexico loses and then they lose next week, like, they're going to be holding on to their you-know-whats on Selection Sunday. And, I mean, I don't want to be in that position. So, should they get in? Probably, based on the way the bubble is. Will they? I don't know. Let's see. Sick. You almost feel bad for Falso. I've never doubted Pastner. Yeah. There were some times early in the year to doubt Pastner. I'll give him credit right now. I'm giving him a lot of credit. He took some L's earlier in the year. There's no doubt. 3 points a minute. Think about that, Pizza. The Aggies gave up 3 points a minute in the second half. That's wild. Okay? That is absolute wild. Yes, Sean. Absolute carnage tonight. Absolute carnage. Okay? Nightmare day for JK. I mean, maybe they could beat them. I don't know. The tournament is going to be a bloodbath. I'm going to roll through these quickly. Who's the player of the year, Brody? I think it's Falslev. We got one more game set to go, but yeah, I won't, Matthew. I'm all right now. I don't even remember what that was for. What was I? I was ranting about something, but yeah, I don't know. You think they're safely in, Jake? They're playing with fire. I know that comment was 40 minutes ago. You're probably sleeping by now. I can't believe I'm that far behind. Let's see. JK, you thought that too? It's possible, but you're playing with fire if you do that, right? Yeah, they are picking the wrong time to. I mean, there's no good time to collapse, but you certainly don't want to do it at the end of the season. Steinbauer, what's going on? Boise had to play that 6 seed New Mexico coming off a game. They cruised, they got warmed up. Utah State, yeah. I don't know. Let's see. One big league final season feels bad. Glad Boise. Yeah, certainly big game. What else we got on here? Gibbs Longhorn is the player of the year, you think? Yeah. Tucker plus 22 tonight. I didn't look at the plus minus yet. Yeah, I mean, he was the one guy who was making things happen, like other than just making shots, right? You could see he had some bounce to him, and it makes sense because he hasn't played in 2 months, so he had something to prove. Maybe the rest of the guys were maybe they're tired, maybe they're going through the motions. I don't know what it is. Yeah, UNLV sweeps Boise and Utah State. Crazy. Yeah, maybe Fresno will win it all. They need Collins back, though. Tonight was a beautiful watch for New Mexico fans, Larry, not for Mountain West fans. Thin bubble. Yeah, the bubble's terrible, and they want to expand the tournament. It's awful. Yeah, there you go, Benny. TCU beat Texas Tech tonight. There's another one. Bad result. Forgot about that. TCU's going to be in. At Indiana, they keep losing, and they're like still almost in. It's awful. The bubble's horrible. So, yeah, losing 4 of your last 5, that's bad too. UNLV, yeah, UNLV is going to be locked in. Let's see. Whistlefest, definite Whistlefest. I mean, both teams were close to the double bonus by like the 10-minute mark. Horrible. Han, you think 7 teams could win it, not including San Diego State? When have you ever heard that before? This will make, well, it's not eliminated yet. Had Utah State won tonight, it would have eliminated San Diego State from winning the regular season title. They're not eliminated yet because they almost were, but the Aggies laid that egg. Okay. Yeah, absolutely, Han. I said that the other night. I forget. I think BJ asked or somebody asked if Collins was still first team, and I said I think he's tailed off, and he certainly didn't help himself tonight, right? Yeah, the flagrant on Meadow, that was a terrible call. The announcers even said so. Awful call. What else do we got on here? Gibbs Lawhorn should be player of the year. Falslove had your vote before tonight. See, it's weird because Falslove, I mean, I know his team lost bad, and Gibbs Lawhorn his team won big. I don't know. It's tough. I'm really curious to see how it goes. No, too late for that, JK. Don't need to talk about the Aztecs. I talked about it. Nevada more up and down in Boise, Jake says, pretty much. Sick is hoping for New Mexico at large. Well, that's very nice of you from a Boise fan. Leon is a dangerous coach. Yeah, if Lobo's winning back-to-back conference titles in the last 2 seasons of the Mountain West as we know it, wild. Absolutely. Well, they're going to have to win on the road. Olin, coach of the year without question. That's pretty much the way it is. He had phenomenal job by Olin. Doesn't have a super roster, and they are banged up. They have no depth. Absolutely. Pizza thinks that the Aztecs have a 0% chance of winning the conference. Yeah, you didn't collapse. You haven't done anything all year. That's a fair point, JK. Okay. Air Force will not find a way to win a game in the tournament, unfortunately. Let's see. I want to skip. I don't know, Sean, what Comer's deal was. 9 minutes. Not. I saw him out there, but the only reason I even saw him out there is because he went to talk to Noodles during that one reviewer, a timeout, and Noodles didn't really have time for him. Maybe it's because he didn't like the way he was playing. I don't know, but he was kind of invisible out there. I don't know. Yeah, no dogs. Said that for months, unfortunately. Yeah, that's fair. Colorado State didn't get help tonight because now it means a lot to New Mexico tomorrow. Yeah, that's a good question, Sean. I don't know. I mean, that would be really bad for Alford if the same issue repeats itself, the same issue being the NIL, right, that unraveled last year with his roster. If the same thing happens 2 years in a row, that's pretty bad. Well, here's the thing with that, Sig. Yeah, Dutcher took him to the national championship game. He deserves massive credit and flowers for that. But, like all things come, like Mike Davis, he won a national championship. Some of you guys might be too young to remember that. Mike Davis won a national championship at Indiana with Indiana, right? And he was a horrible coach. Horrible. And like they canned him a few years later, like that. Like sometimes you just catch lightning in a bottle. Look at the guy from Oregon State, Wayne Tinkle, right? Like he made the Elite Eight with Oregon State, like in the biggest like luck box 3 weeks ever. They had to win the Pac-12 tournament to get into the big dance. They got in as a 12 seed and they won 3 games to get to the Elite Eight. And it bought Wayne Tinkle like 5 more years of his job. And he just fired him a week ago. But, like, that was, like, they didn't even want to keep the guy. It's the same thing that happened to Patrick Ewing. Now, I'm not comparing Dutcher to those guys. Dutcher's a far better coach than those guys. But Ewing, same thing as Tinkle, he didn't get to the Sweet 16, but he made the tournament by winning the Big East tournament a few years ago. And, like, he was a horrible coach, too. And they fired him, like, a year or two later, and they only kept him that long because he won the conference tournament one time and lucked into something. Now, I'm not saying Dutcher lucked into the national championship run. He did not. They earned wins against good teams like Alabama and Creighton, okay, and a good FAU team coached by Dusty May, coach of one of the 2 best teams in the country right now, right? So he did a great job, but like it's fair to criticize him too. Like you're not immune to criticism because he did something great like 3 years ago, right? The Aztecs' best team probably was the one that lost that COVID year. Yeah. Who are my 2 sleepers to win the conference tournament? Like I I guess Boise and Colorado State, I guess, are my sleepers, I think. Yeah, a lot of us have been. Yeah, a lot of you have been criticizing him. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I get it. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. Appreciate that, Jason. That's what I'm here for. It is getting late. I can't believe I'm in here this late. You guys are bringing the comments. I feel bad, like dipping out. I'm already only going to sleep 4 hours, so I can cut a few extra minutes off of the sleep and go through all the comments. I don't want to leave them hanging here. Let's see. Yeah. Best Boise team performance of the year, Jake says, probably. And they've had some good efforts, right? The win against St. Mary's was a great effort. That's a tournament team, okay? And do spit facts most of the time. Not all the time. I get some things wrong. I get it, Sick. A timeout wasn't saving them. But my feeling on it is like you got to try something, right? Like you're just giving up if you don't. And obviously maybe he has his reasons for not doing it. But, yeah. Yeah, Boise was definitely on point tonight. There's no doubt. Well, he did, yeah, and then he used his one with 16 seconds left. Yeah, and that was the only thing Boise did wrong all night. I tweeted it out. They had 2 fouls to give. Dutcher had called timeout. Now, they were shooting foul shots, but give a foul. They let Davis drive right down the lane for a layup. I mean, it didn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things, but like that's a bucket that could cost you in a conference tournament. Like you have fouls to give. Why are you allowing a guy a straight line drive without fouling on the floor after you just came out of a timeout and you know that you only committed 14 fouls? Yet I wish that was a Boise team we had seen all year. We'd be talking about them on the bubble too. All right, what else do we got on here? Boise made more threes than we had rebounds. Leon's teams get the boards. There's no doubt they do. Aztecs are too cool for school. Reese played well on offense tonight. He's just got that. He's got that NBA. I said it a lot. He's got that NBA bag of like mid range and just catch and shoot. He doesn't need a lot of space. He doesn't need a lot of time to get the shot off. He makes tough shots. Yeah, you're saying, JK, I'll appreciate you as an Aztec fan being fair and objective about this and calling them out when they deserve it. There's no doubt. It's got to be one of the best freshman classes. I mean, we've had good individuals. Obviously, guys like Toppin, Darian Williams, Guaff last year, 3 really good freshmen in a row, but never had the depth. I mean, there's plenty. I'd have to go through, and maybe I will before the weekend or maybe after the weekend before the conference tournament starts and kind of rip off a bunch. Maybe that there's at least 5 to 10 who were yeah, I'm not saying it was an act sick. I know. Well, I shouldn't. I didn't mean it was an act that he was acting like he was hurt. I just kind of mean like, you know, if you're that vulnerable that you can get banged up on a dunk like that, like then you shouldn't be trying to dunk it. Just go in and lay the ball in. I just don't get it. The only teams in the country, Vinny says, in non-power conferences with 4 more quad 1 wins are UNLV and Gonzaga. Yeah, and I saw a stat that like UNLV is the only team with like more than 3 quad 4 losses that has like a quad 1 win or something stupid like that. So, yeah, I feel there was a dog tonight. There's no doubt. Aztecs have no leaders. RJ Keene embodies what it means to be a college player, like staying at his program. Saw some other stats and tweets today about how, you know, there's so few people celebrating senior day anymore. It's like a foreign concept. It's like a joke. And the ones that do, by and large, they're at their schools for like 1 year, maybe 2. They're never there for 4 years. So credit RJ Keene, guys like that, you know, Degenhart last year, stuff like that. Fielder has grown under the staff. There's no doubt about it. Lagoon and Bird, too cool for college basketball, 100%. Probably the best thing for the Aztecs would have been for one or both of them to just go pro. And then the other guys could have flourished without having them like underneath them. You know what I mean? I mean, it's easy to say that now in hindsight. We didn't know that in May, June, July, August, September, October. Clearly we didn't know that. We kind of know it now. Guaff, DeGorville, Compton are in Dutcher's doghouse. Yeah, there should be, and there probably will be a house cleaning coming in Aztec land in 3 or 4 weeks, I'm going to say. Maybe even 2.5 weeks. I don't know. All right, let's see. Man, I'm still 20 minutes behind on the comments here. You guys are really firing here. Okay, big dancer bus for Boise. So you don't think that you don't think they'll take another bid for another tournament? That's right. That's right. Karma for SDSU not respecting the show. There's no doubt about it. That's what they get for not participating. It's karma. Let's see. Fresno does play good D. You guys said that. They do play good D. Sick thinks that the Aztecs contain Gibbs, Lawhorn, and they get the W. Fresno, they will D you up. I mean, it doesn't travel as well as some other teams, but let's see. All right, I want to whip through these here because I do got to get going. JK, not a fan of Dan Dick. I like Dick. I think Dick does a good job. Yeah, Lobos do not have an NCAA tournament roster, but they do have an NCAA tournament coach. JK does like Rich. I think they do a good job. But, everyone in San Diego will let you know we've been playing like trash all year. I don't think they can win a tournament game. I just don't think they have the talent. That's where the talent catches up with you. I've said it before. The only way they can do that is if they play a team that's poorly coached, right? And your chances of that happening in the NCAA tournament are not very high because most teams don't get in with bad coaches, right? I do think there's a time or two where they get in, like a Penny Hardaway with Memphis, stuff like that. But I don't know. We'll see. GCU, I'll look at. It's a good question, Dr. Dustin. I'll look at that. Maybe. No, I don't think so because GCU has 7 losses. And, well, I guess they might actually. That's an interesting point. If the Aztecs lose and get to 13-7, yeah, maybe they would. Maybe they would, and then GCU would have the tiebreaker with them because they swept them. Okay. Well, appreciate you keeping it 100% about them. There you go. So Tyler says it here. San Diego, a GCU win and San Diego State loss would make GCU to 3. Well, now that would be interesting, wouldn't it? Let's see. The one big league, blah, blah, blah. Rooting for GCU as a 3 seed. Yeah, that's interesting. We might need a weekly award, Too Cool for School, for a team, player, I don't know. You follow it. They are a lock. They're 100% a lock, okay? Had they lost tonight and their last regular season game and quarter or semi of the MAC, I think they might have got left out. But at 30-0, they're 99.9% in. Like, even if they lose their last game and lose in the quarterfinals, I can't see them getting out. JK got to hop off. Appreciate you being here, my friend. No go Aztecs from you because they didn't deserve it. Yeah, let's see how the rest of the week goes. Sick, you have been a pastor guy in here from the start of the year, even when I was giving him crap. So he's earning his flowers now. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, I think they need to beat Utah State, probably, in all likelihood. Okay. Yeah, I think Miami's going to get in, Timothy. Like, they just won too many games. They played 30 and they've won them all. I know their strength of schedule is horrible. I don't know. Like, who's going to get it if Falslove doesn't get it? I don't know. Yeah, it's disappointing. Jake's still awake. Appreciate you, Jake. They'll probably expand it at some point, Sick. I don't know. I don't think there's any way Jake Hall would get Player of the Year, Timothy. They're not going to vote for a freshman, and he's been very good, but I just don't think he'll get it. Thanks, Sean. Appreciate you saying that. Thanks for being here. I know it was a tough night for Nevada fans. Yeah, Jason, you're right. Keats for NC State made the Final Four and he dumped him 2 years later. Yeah, I mean, it happens. You know, it's what have you done for me lately? Mike Davis had some good seasons at Texas Southern. Yeah, he did. He stockpiled players there. He scheduled very tough, and that's a bad conference. And, you know, he obviously could outcoach some of those guys, but he was really bad at UAB. And I think he's even on Penny's bench now at Memphis, and he doesn't do much to help him there. Appreciate you, Paul. Yeah, Vinny, the only thing hurt was his feelings. I have a friend, his dad would always say when guys would make an error on a play in whatever football or drop a pass in football and then lay on the ground, he'd say the only thing hurt is his pride. I don't think that was the case with Bird, but I chuckled at that. Sky wants to go to bed. What will Moser say about the UNLV dub? You're awake. Appreciate that. Well, we're all going to bed in about 5 minutes. Yes, I will do a show tomorrow night, 100%. 100%. I know it's only one game. It might not be an hour and a half like this one, but we'll have plenty to talk about. All-time favorites, RJ King. Yeah, like I said, he's a guy you should add in there with your Templins and your Falslevs, different types of players, but the guy who will do the dirty work and the stuff that you need, a winning player. He doesn't need to shoot the ball. He doesn't need plays run for him. He will do what you ask of him as a coach. So that's what you need. So did he yell after he dove into the bench? I know he got a technical for it or a flagrant or whatever they called it, but I didn't know if he was yelling. Don't let GCU end up in Boise's bracket. Could happen. Who knows? Anything's up for grabs at this point. Appreciate you having a Sun Cruiser. Good stuff. Nevada fell from 4 to 7. Wild stuff. Okay. All right. I think I finally got through all the comments. I ran most of you guys out of here because I kept talking for so long. I appreciate very much all of you being in here all season long. We're winding down here on the show. Let's give one more shout out. Somebody just mentioned him. A couple people mentioned him. Sun Cruiser. Give him a shout. Give him a fine. Give him a sip. And at the bottom there, at Mountain West BNN, give it a subscription. I know we only have a few shows left, but give it a subscription. We'll have to talk about what's happening after the regular season ends here as far as conference tournament, postseason stuff. Talk to BJ about that. But look, it's been a heck of a ride. We still got some more shows to do. Keenan and Deggy were perfect, no doubt about it. That's why they were very successful. I appreciate you two being here. Sick. All right. Let's get out of here. It's 2:45 Eastern, 12:45 for most of you in the Mountain Time Zone, 11:45. I will be in tomorrow night. It's a 10 o'clock Eastern start, so 8 o'clock Mountain, 7 Pacific, so it's not too late, hour earlier. We won't go as long because it's the only game, but you guys come in here, we'll talk, we'll go back and forth forever, just like I did tonight. So appreciate all you guys being in here. Sorry for the audio difficulties at the start. We'll have to see if we can figure that out for tomorrow. But again, come on back tomorrow night here on Night in the Mountain West. Get some rest, fellas, and I'll see you then. Good night.
Get ready for the time of your life at Circa Resort and Casino, Las Vegas's newest destination for fun, featuring the world's biggest poolside tailgate party with 3 levels of action, 6 pools, and a 143-foot screen. The fun is always on deck with all the games all year long. Stadium Swim, located in downtown Las Vegas on Fremont Street. Book the time of your life today at CircaLasVegas.com.